Yo, what's going on, guys? Matthew here with another video. Welcome back. One of my top videos here on the YouTube world is why is everyone quitting Amazon? I kind of explained my situation and what I went through, how Amazon itself is probably what drives a lot of people off, but the DSPs, it's pick or choose, right? My DSP was actually a pretty good one. Shout out to them, I'll always be thankful. If you guys don't know, I work at FedEx Express. We're going to be looking at some of these Reddit posts and just kind of giving my input on some of these things. This is pretty much just something to pick fun at. None of this is super serious, although I will kind of give some tips on and tricks in my own personal experiences that I've dealt with when it comes to working for a Amazon DSP. What does that stand for? Delivery service provider or something like that. I forgot, it's been a minute. No further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. If you guys do like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All these are just posts, so we're just gonna look at them, I'm gonna skim through them, we're gonna see just how I'm gonna react to it. Just for newbies, all right? We'll be starting a whatever in Portland area this week. I used to deliver for FedEx. What am I going to expect at Amazon? What you're gonna expect is to be treated like a king or a queen for your first 2 weeks. You will have the best 2 weeks of your life, or it could be the worst. So since you've had experience at FedEx, I'm gonna assume that you know what you're doing out here, and that's gonna go a long way. I wouldn't explain that to them. No, maybe you should. It depends who the DSP is. Get a good feel. If the DSP sounds pretty cool, like they still gonna give you that two weeks of nursery route, you're gonna want to do that, because the main thing you're gonna have to learn is that Leo device. So the Leo device, if you don't know what that is basically the phone that you're going to be using, and with that comes a lot of problems because everyone has like different brands of phone. You can have a really high-end phone, which is rare, or you can have a butter phone, which is where it's gonna be closing out a lot. It's gonna be forcing out itself, and then it's gonna be lagging, no good service, especially if you're out there in the country. If you're on them country roads, it gets really hard to get some service out there. So really use that, and then of course you have to learn the area that you're in. Sorry, I got a little piece of hair on me. You gotta learn that the area that you're gonna be in. I think what I didn't like about Amazon is how you're basically a swing driver. That's what we call it here at FedEx Express. You're given a route. You could do it 4 days in a row, and on that 5th day, it's gonna be way different. That's kind of where it threw me off. And on top of that, you got rescues, and you got the system where it goes offline sometimes. I've had that happen. That's a nightmare. This is all on Reddit, by the way, so I'll just be showing it. Who plans rescues, right? Let's go ahead and read it. For some reason, I never get rescued during the week, which is fine. I usually finish my route, but it takes me a while. It takes me a whole 10 hours. Also fine, because we get paid for the work that we do. But for some reason, on weekends, I get like 2 rescues a day from people I've never seen at my DSP's stand-up meetings in the morning. It seems weird. But from what I know, I've only been rescued once whenever I worked for Amazon, and it's basically just the dispatcher. The dispatcher is gonna know who's behind and who's ahead. They have that number sent up on there. There's actually a YouTube video that you can look as what a dispatcher does, and that's why I was really interested, like how all that works. And I wanted to, because I was looking to move forward with the company until I found out that you really ain't going nowhere with that company. Yeah, dispatch is pretty much who picks and chooses, and maybe just on the weekend they're trying to be a little bit more helpful. Yeah, so you probably are ahead, but they're just trying to help you out in the end. That's kind of what I assume. That's what my DSP did. They were just trying to get me home early, right? At the end of the day, they don't want you being, most of them don't want you being there 12 hours a day. Some of them, they don't care. They would have your ass out there working 20 hours if they could. This next one here is just a picture. So I don't know where this is at. When you work for Amazon delivery service, you work under a contractor. So how that works, you're going to this job site and you see these other DSP like contractors, and they're trying to look for workers. At the moment, there's a lot of people quitting Amazon. You guys don't know that in the background. They're hiring, but they're losing so many people at the same time. It's actually insane. The actual warehouse, I have no idea. I have no clue. So that could be on another whole level. But if you look in here, they're paying salary. I didn't even know they did that. 165 to 185 a day. It sounds appealing depending on what state you live in. I live in Texas, so full-time, weekends available, weekends available, in 10-hour shifts, and they put that all in there. So They out here really looking for these drivers. Finished early, paid for the full shift. And that's how my DSP did it from the start. So I don't know how other DSPs do it. Maybe if you finish the 6 hours, you're gonna get paid 6 hours. I've heard about that situation, but no matter what, at my DSP, if I finished in 4 hours, I got paid for a 10-hour shift. So that's why I liked working for them. This is more of like a situation that happened. So 7 drivers call in. I came in on my off day on a short notice. I asked him to send me $10. I'm guessing he wanted lunch money or something. For food, they left me hanging, so I'm having to do 190 stops hungry. For one thing, it's hard to even eat out on the road unless you take your lunch break, which you guys know I never took my lunch break because I always wanted to try to at least go home, and that never ended up happening, so I learned the hard way. 7 drivers calling in. I've ran into a situation like this at work. They called me. I had a side business at the time. Called me into work. They were like, "Hey, like 5 or 6 drivers dropped last second. We need you to come in. Can you come in?" I was like, "No, I can't come in. I just can't do it. Like, I got my other thing going on right here, and I'm busy. Like, I'm busy at the moment. You know, if it had it on my schedule to show up at work, you know, I'd be there. But I definitely cannot make it in today, and I can only assume a nightmare that was. They probably had to drop those routes, so I think the contractor loses out on that money. They just give it to another person. I think that's what happens. I'm not sure how that works. It's my off day. I'm usually not going in. That's something I like about my job. I get off the weekends. They don't force us to come in. Now some days they do. They're just trying to get people, as many people as they can, to try and trick us. So just be careful on that. I mean, he went out there, he's hungry, he get no lunch money, and he's in a bad situation. So yeah, we ain't doing all of that. Okay, not my problem if you're not there. You deliver 1 box, right? Please leave to the nearest postal office if not there, right? So if you don't know how that works, a lot of these people don't understand that we have to follow that system. Of course, you can go offline, you can do all this other crap that to get away to deliver that box far out of that zone that it wants you in. But anyways, the Leo knows where you're at, knows exactly where you're at, and if it tells you to drop it off at that certain spot, then you have to do that, right? You have to go in front of the house and scan it, take a picture of it, and then leave it there. Now this guy's talking about leave it at the postal office. Is that post office on my route? I don't think so. Sorry if you hear my ear. That I ain't going nowhere. If you ain't there, I'm just leaving the box there. I have to. That's just the job. That's what it tells me to do. And if it really was a problem where you didn't have to leave it, then you would just have to be available, right? Deliver it the next day, which I don't think most people are doing that nowadays. They just leave the box anywhere at this point. But usually if I would have saw a message like that, I would call first, right? Call, no answer, then I'm just gonna leave it at the front door. So that's how usually that works. It could be something important, but if it was, I would be at home for that, honestly. All right, that's pretty much it, man. This is just a video I thought of doing. And so if you want to see more crazy stories, like there's some crazy stuff in here that I haven't even gotten into. You can look at Amazon DSP drivers. You follow them on Reddit and you'll see some crazy stuff, like some of the situations that a lot of these people go through. Dogs, you know, getting bit by dogs, angry customers, angry managers, angry contractors. It's all there. So if you're really interested, I suggest looking at that. And if you're looking to work in Amazon, my best advice for you is to pick the right DSP at least, and know what area that you're gonna be in. You know you're gonna be in some crazy ass area, you know, maybe not, you probably don't wanna be up in that situation. But if you're gonna be in a nice, pretty straight up area where it's residential's right next to each other and you're not going through gates, you're not out here on country road, you're not losing connection out here, and your DSP's nice, you know, they try to help you out, they're paying, everyone pays about the same, but as long as they're paying you every week, maybe that comes to preference. I suggest those things. I haven't been working here in about, it's been a while now, it's been over a year. So things might have changed since then. I know the last biggest change I saw was where you had to turn your car off at every stop and turn it back on. And, I mean, I don't know, for the amount of speed that they got going on, I don't really understand that, but it is what it is. You know, they're thinking of safety, they don't want the car rolling, but at the same time, man, just spread it out, right? Maybe you won't see as many cars rolling. But other than that, that's gonna do it for today's video. Start the week off right, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.